Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to study about the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system is, we can also say that it is a kind of a transport system also, which is connected with our circulatory system. Lymphatic system as it is, there are some differences of the lymphatic system with the transport system, because this lymphatic system is actually, it is supporting the function of the transport system. Okay, so this lymphatic system, we can say that it mainly it serves as a collection system. Keep these things in mind. It serves as a collection system to bring back any of the leftover fluid which is present inside the tissues, which is known as the tissue fluid. It is mainly showing its function in bringing back the tissue fluid which has been trapped between the cellular spaces and dropping it again into the blood. Okay. This cellular fluid actually, it oozes out. याद रखिए इस बात को, it oozes out of the blood. The plasma that's present inside the blood, it oozes out at capillary level. At capillary level का मतलब है कि यहाँ पर exchange of materials जो है वो होता है. Because we all know that our blood system is a closed system.
The blood is not coming in direct contact with
the blood is not coming in direct contact with the tissues. ठीक है, तो इस वजह से what happens कि इसको थोड़ा सा direct exchange of materials के लिए liquid has to leak out, has to move out of the capillaries, and the liquid has to be in close contact with the cells so that dissolved enzymes, dissolved nutrients, dissolved hormones, dissolved oxygen and respiratory gases, all these, they have to be exchanged at all the cells. ठीक है, at all the major cellular levels. ठीक है, तो इस वजह से क्या होता है कि आपके पास जो लिक्विड है ब्लड में से, इट लीक्स आउट, it oozes out due to the pressure in the blood at capillary level, and this liquid in the blood, it contains all the useful materials, and it brings about a direct exchange by the process of diffusion. ठीक हो गई बात. डिफ्यूजन से ये exchange of materials जो है, it is being carried out. Now, after exchange of materials, useful materials are sent into the blood, into the cells, and from the cells, toxins, metabolic wastes, respiratory wastes in which carbon dioxide वगैरह है, all these have to be absorbed back into the blood. So exchange of, you can say, एक material हो जाता है at cellular level. Now this liquid has to be absorbed back into the blood. Some of the liquid moves into the blood, but some of it is left between the tissue spaces, between the cellular spaces. So that liquid that is left between the cellular spaces, it is brought back to the blood by a separate system of vessels, and that separate system of vessels is known as the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system does not have a pumping organ. इसके अंदर कोई heart part नहीं है, no pumping organ. And इस pumping organ की absence की वजह से question आता है, then how come is the liquid going to move forward? Just by your movement of your skeletal muscles and movement of your smooth muscles, आपकी body की movement की वजह से, respiratory movements की वजह से, इसमें से blood जो है, it starts to move out, liquid starts to move into it, and then the liquid is dropped into the blood just before it enters the heart at the position where we have the jugular vein. ठीक है, वहां पर इसके पास जो है वो ड्रॉप इन हो जाता है. तो लिम्फेटिक सिस्टम के अंदर अपनी एक स्पेशल जो है वो वेसल सिस्टम्स हैं, and we have the lymphatic system present everywhere in the blood. Wherever we have the capillary system, we have the lymphatic system present. ठीक है, now let us go to the presentation and let us have a read of the present lymphatic system. These are the nodes, the aggregates where we have collections of the vessels, and these vessels, they keep on moving towards the heart. The direction is towards the heart, unidirectional movement hota hai. The lymphatic system, what is it? It is responsible for transport and returning of materials from the tissues of the body to the blood. We have the lymphatic system spread all over the body, and we have aggregates and nodes and collections which are known as the lymph nodes. This lymphatic system, it has vessels, it has capillaries, it has lacteals at different parts of the body, and this lymphatic system is present everywhere in the body. The lymphatic system plays a major role in the immune system maintenance also. The lymphatic system comprises of lymph capillaries, it comprises of lymph vessels, it comprises of lymphoid masses, it comprises of lymph nodes, it comprises of lymph, which is the fluid which flows into the system. This lymph, when it was present between the cells, it was called the interstitial fluid. And that fluid, when it was present inside the blood, it was called the plasma. Just because of position, इसका नाम जो है वो लिक्विड का चेंज हो जाता है. लिम्फेटिक सिस्टम, ये देखिए हार्ट है, आर्टीरियल सिस्टम चल रहा है, आर्टीरियल सिस्टम चल रहा है. कैपिलरी लेवल पर आप देखें कि लिक्विड्स जो हैं वो ooze out हो जाते हैं, एंड वेनस सिस्टम चल रहा है which is bringing the, this is all that is taking place in the transport system. The lymphatic system is directly connected to the अपना circulatory system. At the capillary level, the lymph capillaries are intermingled. इसको थोड़ा सा यहाँ बड़ा कर देते हैं. The lymph capillaries are intermingled with the blood capillaries, and the tissue fluid that is left behind, which is unable to move into the blood capillaries, it is absorbed into the lymph capillaries, and now it is known as the lymph. The lymph capillaries are present wherever we have the blood capillaries, and the tissue fluid will be absorbed into this, and the lymphatic system it serves as a collecting system which brings about liquid back to the heart. It has a loose connective tissue. It forms a loose connective tissue around the capillaries, and it has loosely arranged cells. So the basal protein in the lymphatic system jo hai, it is less, it is weaker than the cellular organization of the capillaries. So materials can move into the lymph capillaries easily as compared to the blood capillaries. The lymph capillaries, they end blindly in the body tissues. End blindly का मतलब ये है कि they are closed ends. इसमें tubular continuations नहीं है. Intercellular spaces in the lymph capillaries are larger than the blood capillaries that I have just told you कि basal protein arrangement जो lymph capillaries में है वो blood capillaries से loosely arranged है, and because of that interstitial fluid can diffuse into the lymph capillaries very easily. And when the interstitial fluid it goes into the lymph capillaries, it is then known as lymph. Lymph vessels then ultimately they empty into the vein, and major vein kya hai? Major vein just before the blood falls into the heart, wahan par ye drop in hota hai. Ye dekhiye lymph capillaries mein cells are loosely arranged, and the liquid moves in very, very easily. There are valves present inside the lymph endothelial cells, and these valves, they prevent the backflow of the lymph so that it just keeps on moving forward, and accumulation of liquid does not take place inside the body spaces or inside the body tissues. Lymph capillaries join and rejoin. Up next चीज क्या बन रही है? to form the larger vessels and ultimately the lymph duct which joins with the subclavian vein. मैंने आपको I'm sorry मैंने यहाँ पर आपको jugular vein बताया था, तो इसको करेक्ट कर लीजिए, jugular vein नहीं है यहाँ पर हमारे पास, it drops into the subclavian vein. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर हम इसको subclavian vein कहेंगे. The lymph capillary empties, sorry, empties into the subclavian vein. Okay, it empties into the subclavian vein. Correct कर लीजिए, not the jugular vein. Okay, okay. In the intestine, the lymphatic duct is called the lacteal. Along the pathway at certain points, lymph vessels have lymphoid masses, which has lymphocytes, which are called the lymph nodes. Along the pathway, at certain points, the lymph vessels have lymphoid masses, which has lymphocytes, which are called the lymph nodes. Aggregations of the lymph capillaries are called the lymph nodes. Now we have lymph nodes everywhere present inside our body. हमारे पास different जगहों पर आपके पास aggregations हैं, और वो सारे देखें लंग्स में भी हैं, आर्मपिट्स में मेजर है, सबक्लेवियन है, आपके पास जो है यहाँ पर जो टॉन्सिल्स के साथ हैं. ठीक है, फिर ये ग्रॉइन रीजन के अंदर है, फिर पेल्विक रीजन के अंदर है. ऑल दीज आर द मेजर lymph nodes. The functions of the lymphatic system: it returns the excess fluid, proteins, and other substances into the blood. Lacteal of the villi absorb large fat globules. Lymphatic system helps the body to defend against invading organisms. ठीक है, number 1 main function: excess of fluid, proteins, and other substances are returned to the blood, and then the liquid falls into the blood at the subclavian vein. Then the lacteal, which is a part of the lymphatic system, which is present inside the small intestine, it serves to absorb the large fat globules. ये हमने digestion वाले chapter में कर लिया हुआ है. Lymphatic system helps the body to defend against invading organisms. ठीक है, ये हो गया. If there are any questions, you people can ask me. ठीक है, और इसमें अब हम जाते हैं towards the board. अच्छा जी, अब बेटा इसमें जो आपके पास जो चीज है ना, वो ये है कि you have to remember the lymphatic system as one of the supporting systems. It supports the transport system, and the main function of the lymphatic system is to bring back fluids to the blood, which helps mainly in maintaining the liquid content of the blood. ठीक है, it mainly supports the transport system and brings about the brings the liquid back. अच्छा, एक और चीज जो याद रखेंगे, the lymphatic system has no pumping organ. It has no pumping organ, and the plasma, which is now known as the lymph, it moves forward by just the movement of the skeletal muscles and smooth muscles of the body. Okay, backflow of lymph is prevented by valves present in the lymph vessels. Aggregates of lymph capillaries and lymph vessels are known as lymph nodes. Okay, this was all for today's lecture. Do keep yourself available on in the channel. Okay, recommend the channel to your friends and see you in the next lecture. Okay, beta. Allah Hafiz. अपना ख्याल रखिए.